Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I salute you all. Yesterday was our first day posting. Today's our second day. I want to thank those that looked at it. We'll build up a big following, which is my goal. And just want to let you know I'm appreciative to each and every one of you guys. We're still tweaking this. I have to admit, I did go over and replay everything I said yesterday, and I saw myself on a lot of different topics, and that's something that I don't want to do. And I will get better as time goes on, but the knowledge is here. The knowledge is here. I just want you to know that. But today, I was thinking and saying what I wanted to get out there. It's very important about the family situation, the family dynamics, because sometimes you heard this before. You might even been in a situation yourself before where we treat somebody on the outside of our family better than a family member. We'll call a friend, associate, or whoever before we call our siblings and check on them. Come on, let's keep the family tight. We the generation. We got another generation coming behind us. And when our children, our young prince and our young princesses see us talking to their uncles, aunts, grandmothers, whoever it may be, what they see is, okay, let me stay in touch with my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, and so on and so forth. You know, what they see is what they learn, you know? So one thing that I do is I talk to my siblings often, you know, because I want to know how they doing. Not via text. I'm on the phone. I want to hear it in their voice, you know, because you can tell me one thing, but your voice is going to tell me something else. I don't want it through text. So pick up that phone and call a loved one. See what's going on. But also, I want to get back onto this youth topic, and that's where I'm going to mainly stay today, okay? Because I didn't have my comment section on yesterday, but it should be on now. And I would love to hear your comments and what you think about what we're putting out there. We're going to get better every day, you know. This is something new. But I do want y'all to reach out to me if you need anything. Put it in the comments. Hit me on the back end. Say what you got to say privately. However, but moms and dads, our children are the most precious thing we have. I lived my whole life. My oldest is 28. I lived my whole life for my children. My whole life. Some say that's good, some say that's bad. I'm happy with it because I'm happy with the results, you know? Now it's time for me to live and give back and do what I have to do socially and physically, and just be there for people, you know? My friends know I'm there for them. And when I say my friends, I can count them on this hand. I can count them on this hand because it takes a lot to be a friend of mine. You know, you heard the word frenemy. You got to go through it to be a friend. My kids used to come home and say, my friend this, my friend that. I said, how long you known them? 2 days. How they your friend already? But they didn't understand that then, you know. They understand it now. But parents, watch who your children are with, who they're hanging out with. Because when that person comes over to your house, they're on their best behavior. They're showing their best face at that time. But guess what? Sometimes when they get outside and they're outside with your child, they're a different person. You know, get to know their parents. And I mean, get to know their parents well, you know, because a lot of times nowadays kids want to spend the night at John's house or spend the night at Mandy's house or whatever the case may be. I've never been a big advocate of spending the night, especially as my children got older, because I know Pam and Sue, the mother of Tommy that my son is going to see. But what about the uncle or the cousin that's spending the night also? I don't know him. So we got to be really aware of what our kids are doing. And I've been involved with children, kids, young men for a long time. And they told me all the loopholes. Give you prime example, parents. What they do is they might go to Michelle, tell you they're going to Michelle's house to spend the night. And you say, okay, I know Michelle and her mom. Okay. But guess what? Michelle and her mom might not be as strict as you are. So guess what? That 10 or 11 o'clock curfew that they have, the mom might be asleep by then and they sneaking out, or the mom might give them some extra time that you wouldn't allow yourself at your home. So always say, get to know the parents extremely well, you know, or just get to know your children's surroundings, whoever's has a possibility of being in their ear, you know, whether it's the teachers, the coaches, everybody. Get to know them. And I really mean get to know them, because it's a lot of stuff out there, you know. Talking to a young man today, and he was in a kind of a bad situation. And I told him, you know, don't look at it as a bad situation. Just look at it as a temporary setback for a great comeback. That's how you look at it. And pray. You know, that's one thing I'm gonna always tell you, pray. I'm not gonna be a Bible pusher here. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm going to say pray, because he's going to help you. And follow that path. Your path is already written. A lot of youngsters don't know that. But if you follow that path that's already written and do the right thing all the time, you're going to be right. And guess what? You'll end up being successful. It's so easy to do the wrong thing. That's the easy part. It's extremely easy to do the wrong thing. And that's one thing we don't want our kids to cheat, basically. Cheat life, you know, because it's hard enough out here for us, our children, to navigate through all the different things that's going on in the world. And then they might see a shortcut they can take, but that shortcut can lead them down a bad, bad road. My whole life, I've been a volunteer, football coach for 20-something years, baseball coach for just almost the same amount of years. It's always been around kids and getting the kids going in the right direction. I did text, and I do that, one of my ex-football players today. And he hadn't heard from me in about 4 years. I texted him, I said, hey, how you doing? He said, hey, coach, what's up? How you been? Good to hear from you again. I thought you forgot about me. I said, nah, person like you don't forget about. I knew you was on the right track, and I knew where you would be when I finally picked up the phone to call you. But I just want to touch bases with you and let you know that Coach never forgot you. And I'm always here for you if you ever need to talk to anybody. You know, because sometimes children can't talk to their parents or their sisters or brothers. They might need an outside voice to talk to, or they don't want to bring it to their parents for whatever the reason is. Life is hard enough, you know. I suggest keep all your children involved in some type of activity. If it's not sports, it's something to do with school, whether it's the ROTC, whether it's a book club, whether it's any activity that the school offers. Get them involved in that, you know. Get them involved in that. Another thing I preach is dual enrollment. Dual enrollment. I've been through a lot of graduations, and I see so many young adults. They're 17, getting ready to turn 18, so I'm calling them young adults, where they're starting to adulting, you know. And with that being said, they're walking across that stage with their high school diploma and their associate's degree at the same time. Dual enrollment is you go to school half of the day, high school, and you go to college for the other half. Of course, you have to have your grades right and be able to be accepted. But that only puts your child ahead. And guess what it also do? It keeps your child busy. Keeps them busy, keeps them sharp, you know. I'm not sure if all you parents know, over the summertime when kids are out of school, they say children lose 15% to 20% of what they learned the previous year. So what I do with what I did, or what I do with my children is, if they're in 9th grade during the summertime, all right, you need to study for what's happening in 10th grade. So when you go to the 10th grade, it's easier for you. You know this already. It's not brand new. You practiced it over the summertime. You learned it. Say you're in Algebra 1, your 9th grade year. Your 10th grade year, you're going to have Algebra 2. So during that summer, you should be studying Algebra 2. So guess what? You got a head start on everything. It's always about being prepared. It's always about being prepared for the next level, which is so important. The next level, which is so important. Moms, I told you before, you're the strongest thing on this earth, and I salute you. Dads, we don't get our praise like we supposed to all the time. You know what? I'll give you a perfect example. You know, on Mother's Day, you riding down the street, on every corner there's balloons, roses, and flowers. Dad, tell me what you see on Father's Day on those same corners. No balloons, no flowers, no parade. I was okay with that. You know why? Because it didn't have to be a materialistic thing, but I just thought it was odd. All the moms is getting all the credit, and the dad is doing so much also. Those that are involved, let me say that, those dads that are involved. And my stripes come from the success of what my children were doing. The positive, the great grades, the energy, the effort, and all this other stuff. know. So I just want everybody to just think about this generation. You know, I said we have to look out for this generation now because they are Fortune 500 leaders. I didn't say that yesterday. Leaders. They're going to be the ones spearheading those companies, or our next president or vice president, our next doctor, or whatever the case may be, you know? And I always say, if a young man knock on my door and he's thirsty at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, guess what? I'm gonna bring him something to drink. I'm gonna bring him some water to drink, or Gatorade, or whatever I have at the time. Because guess what? That same young man can remember me and decide, you know what? I'm gonna come through the window at 4 a.m. and rob this man. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put people in positions like that. So that's where you give a hand, you know, things of that nature, you know. But I can't stress how hard it is about raising children, because let me tell you something, they'll take you through it. 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 I'm sincere about that, and I know all y'all know that. I know all y'all know that. I talked to one of my buddies today on the phone, and he saw my YouTube channel yesterday, and he said, "Great job. Glad you're trying to bridge the gap and doing what you're doing." And me and him had worked together years ago, and we coached football years ago. And I own my own business, and he owns his own business. And we both put in work all the time, but we also made time for that nucleus to be with our children, our family. When it was time to stop, kids get off, we getting them to practice, we at home for the rest of the night, we in the house, we helping them with their homework, so on and so forth. So I gave him praise, and I said, you know what? I would like you to come on the show, because I seen what you did over the years with your children and how hard you worked, and you were still managing to get them here, there, homework, and raise them to be good citizens, good young men or good young ladies. And I asked him, did he want to come on the show? Before I could really get it out, he was like, yes. He was like, yes, I do. And I look forward to having him on, because like myself, he has a wealth of knowledge of younger adults, because he coached football for many years. He raised his kids for many years and did a hell of a job, you know. But I talked to a couple other people today that I want to really get on here and let other voices be heard, and other opinions, and other dialogue, and other scenarios other parents can give you, because I can't give you my scenario all the time, you know. I want y'all to hear it from other parents. That's male side and female side, you know. But we're gonna win this thing. I was very excited today, throughout the whole day, knowing I was coming home after work and gonna be on here speaking to the people again. Speaking to my people again. And when I say my people, that's everybody across the board, you know. I'm that type of fella. And I just want to thank y'all all for the support. And I hope you all can help me build this channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Go check out Daryl over here. You know, I believe, like I said earlier, I believe my comments section is up. I wish it was up from yesterday because I would have loved to hear what people had to say. Good, bad, or indifferent, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. Spoke to a police officer buddy of mine today. Posed the same question to him. He said, Daryl, I'll come on there, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Right now, you know, I deal with the youth as a police officer. And let me tell you something. They don't care. He said they don't care. And he was so adamant about that. But I go a step further with that. Okay, why don't they care? My question I posed to him, what can we do to change that mindset and make them care? You know, our kids need love. Our kids need guidance. Our kids need role models, male figures in their life. You know, I'm not saying a woman can't raise a man. I'm not saying that at all, because it can happen. I'm a scenario of that. My mother raised 4 boys, 4 girls, and myself by herself. And guess what? She's the GOAT, greatest of all times. She did that. And to this day, we and my siblings argue jokingly of who's the favorite. You know why? Because she makes us all feel like we're the favorite. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. None of us is the favorite, but she just knows how to navigate through that and make us all feel that way. She loves us all equally. You know, with that being said, when you have multiple children, whether you have the parent at home, both parents, or one parent, think about this. Say if you're a single parent and you have 4 children at home, regardless of the age, that's one mom with 4 children. So mom has to switch her personality up for this one, for this one, for this one, for this one. And I'm using the wrong word. I don't want to say personality. It'll come back to me. Please excuse me. But she has to deal with each child on that level of that child. And she has to switch it up. And it's only one parent. Is that fair? Even if it's two parents, a husband and wife, or a mom and dad living together, doing it. It's still, the odds is still higher with the kids than the parents. And they always have to deal with each child differently because each child is different. You know, each child is different. You know, I tell parents, and I'm going to tell you guys, please love on your children. Love on your children unconditionally. I know some parents that don't hug their kids, don't kiss their kids, don't kiss their kids goodnight, don't read books to their kids, don't do a lot of things with their kids. But they got time to go out, have a good time. If home ain't tight and home ain't right, you need to be right there getting it together before you go out with the girls or yourself or whomever. That's just my personal opinion. And I'm entitled to it. It's my personal opinion. I'm sure it's going to be some things on here that I say that's going to be questioned. But like I told you, I speak from here, not from here. You know, but I mean everything I say. I stand on mine. As I say, I stand 10 toes to the dirt at all times. At all times, I stand on my square. Because whatever I say, I believe. And I try to live it. Because I can't tell you one thing and I'm over here doing something else. That's not cool. That's not cool. I believe a child should be in a child's place. I believe a child should not hear some of the adult conversations that's going on at home. Because one thing I learned, I deal with a lot of the school systems sometimes. And when I'm there, the things they're saying in the lunch line at fifth grade. At fifth grade, you know, they're talking on a level of a 10th, 11th, 12th grader. The things they're saying, whether it's sexual, whether whatever's going on in the house, the kid is going to tell everything. The kid is going to tell everything. And sometimes they might tell something that might jam you parents up. And you don't want that. So always remember, when you're having conversations around your children, be aware. They're listening. Trust me, they're listening. And they're going to take it back. Where they take it back to? First place they take it back to, school. First place they take it back to, school. And share it. And share it. I witnessed it. I witnessed it recently, and I witnessed it years ago. And the same thing happened. No matter what age it is, they're talking about it. Things they shouldn't be talking about. You know, because I've been a big advocate for what happens in my house stays in my house. But the thing about it is, I always projected positivity, nothing really negative. Or when me and my spouse was talking about certain situations, it was a time for that. Whether it's pillow talk at night, when the kids are gone, or when me and her are out on a date at the time. It was just a while ago. Whatever the situation is, there's a time for that. It's not for the kids' ears to hear, because they're going to spew that. They're going to tell it. And I know you guys are laughing probably because it probably doesn't happen to you. It probably didn't happen to you. Or your children came home and told you about it, you know? But like I said, I want you guys to comment on this show. Let me know what you think, what you want me to add. You notice I have no paper in front of me. I have no paper on the side. You don't see me looking down. You don't see me looking at a board behind the camera or anything. Because when I speak from here. I got enough in here to just give it to you, you know, and I'm going to give it to you, as I always say, blood raw. I'm going to give it to you so real. I'm going to give it to you so real. Everybody's not going to be happy with everything that I have to say, and that's okay. But I want you to know, at the end of the day, my goal is to save our youth. And if I ever say something that you don't feel is right, or you want to comment on it. But just know, I'm just one person trying to save a whole generation. And if I can get you guys to back me on it, and we can get this train running, we're going to be so good. We're going to be really good. We're going to be in a good situation. I just need you guys to know that. We're going to be in a good situation. Mentioned it before. It takes a village. It takes a village. I'm going to need some feedback. I need some feedback. I need some comments, you know, and I'll address those comments. I don't have to put your name in there, but I'll address those comments. And what I might, well, not what I might do, what I will do, then I'll write it down, because I have to remember the comments that was said, because I want to address those. I want to answer any questions you have, or whatever the case may be. Let's be clear. It's not easy raising children. It's not easy. There's no book for it. I take that back. There's books for it. Yes, it is. There's books for it. But I learned from my mom. I learned from my mom how to be a man. And I'm 120% man. Trust me on that when I tell you. My other brothers learned from my mom. And so did my sisters. You know? Not saying it was easy for her. Not at all. Not at all. Trust me, it was not. My mom sacrificed a lot of things to make sure we had the necessary things we needed in our home on a daily basis. And I pay homage to her for that. I pay homage to her for that. I thank her all the time. I apologize to her all the time too, because guess what? I was a bad kid one time. When I say bad, I don't mean bad like this generation bad. I just mean doing devious things for no reason, you know. Love your mother. I'm talking to the parents right now. Love your mother if your mother's still with you. Love your father if your father's still with you. Love your siblings if they're still with you. Pick up that phone. Call them. Go visit them. Do what you gotta do. You know? My mother personally is getting up in age. And I was at a jewelry store a couple weeks ago. And the jeweler that I was dealing with, he's a math musician. Genius when it comes to numbers. So he asked me how old my mom was, and I told him. He said, how often you see her? I say 2 to 3 times a year. He said, okay. Well, if you see her 2 to 3 times a year, and she lives to be this age, this is the amount of times you'll see her before she passed away. I did not like that number. I did not like that number. So guess what I gotta do? I gotta get on a plane and fly more often to see my mom. Ain't nothing like seeing my mom. I'm a grown man. I love laying my head on her lap. She run her hands through my hair. I rub her feet, whatever the case may be. And we just enjoy each other's time, you know? Enjoy each other's time. But once again, I told you earlier, I'm still apologizing to my mom for things that I did when I was younger. She said, look, Daryl, that's way behind us. I've been forgiving you for that. But I still do it because I want to give her roses now, not when she leaves this earth. You know? So, remember, the kids is what it's about. I need you to understand that. And we're gonna change some things. I don't care who I gotta get involved, whatever. I just want this thing, I hate to use this word, but I want what I'm trying to do to take over like COVID did. I hate to use that word COVID because that was a bad situation. But I want it to be like, I want it to grow and spread like that. Where everybody's just loving our kids, loving the kids, loving the kids, loving the kids. getting them right, making sure the grades are right, making sure they're doing right. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with that. And I thank each and every one of you guys for your support, for listening. Have your child sit down and listen. I might say something within the last 30 minutes that you don't say to your child. But you say it to your child, but you say it a different way. He might hear or she might hear what I said, and it might click. And you're going to be like, I've been telling you that all your life. I experienced it. I experienced it. You know how you can tell your child something for the longest time, but the minute the next person say it, it's the gospel. It's the gospel. It's not, when you said it didn't click. But when I said it, it meant the world. I never heard this before. That's life. That's how it is. But moms, I salute you. Dads, I salute you. Dads that's not there or not in the picture, get in the picture. Children are a lot of fun. Say you and the mom don't get along, whatever. Guess what? It ain't about you and the mom. It's about you and the son or the daughter. You don't want to miss that. You do not want to miss that. You don't want to miss them growing up, different things. Let's talk about staying off them papers. You don't want to go to court. You don't want to do none of that. You just don't want to do none of that. Be friends with your ex, if she is your ex, whatever, or cordial, if you can be like that, because once they hit you with them papers, you got to get that money up regardless. Why do we have to go through that? Why does it take a court to tell us to take care of our kids? Now some of us or some men would be in a jam because whatever that amount is, we might not be able to afford it. It might change our lifestyle or whatever the case may be. Give that mother that money. And I know you're going to say, and I heard this often, she go get her hair done. She don't do nothing for the kids with it. Well, you know what you do? You buy your kids some clothes. You buy your kids some this. You ask her what she need, or whatever the case. Mom, this goes the other way too, because there's some single dads raising the kids. Do the same thing. Just find out what it is they need. And don't worry about the money, because you giving the money. Just give it. And don't be peeking and seeing where it's spent at. As long as your kids are dressed and clean and look good, she's putting it back into the kids. Or he's putting it back into the children. But I'm going to call it a night. I salute you all. Please continue to follow me. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. We're going to start having some fun with this. Okay? I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all have a blessed night and be safe. Thank you.